What's up, guys? It's your boy Jason, and I'm back on YouTube, man. Let's go talk about these games in the NBA tonight, December 16th. It's been a minute, man, but I'm glad to be back. I'm kind of trying to fix, I guess, my whole setup right here. My whole setup has been crazy, but we will get to it, man. Things will be back to normal. We're gonna talk about the NBA games. There's obviously 2 NFL games as well. I won't have time to talk about every single game. But guys, if you want to see me keep on coming up here to drop these gems, man, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and let's go crush the books, baby. All right. So before I do start, I do want to say one thing. I will have a special for my rest of the year, my daily card. If you want all my plays, we've been absolutely killing it, man. I'll put what we did yesterday. We went 4-0 NFL, 1-1 in NBA, but another winning week, man. Ended off the week super strong. We're gonna go into 2025. Amazing, man. If you guys did want to tap in, go to that pinned comment down below. It's my thanks for everyone who's been showing love and tapping in. Let me clip this to me, just so then I have more hands free so we can do stuff. But let's talk about the first game right here. Obviously, game starts 7 p.m. So by the time you're seeing this, you have a lot of time to lock these plays in. Obviously, my plays can change as the day goes on. So if you want my props or all the plays, I'm just gonna go through the games, what my thoughts are on the side and the totals. So let's go straight into it, man. So first game on the board, we got the Miami Heat against the Detroit Pistons. Look, Detroit, man, they've been a great team in terms of betting props. I love guys like Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren's been back. Miami Heat also, man, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, great guys. You can look at some of their props. This game should be, a decently fast-paced game, I think. I mean, depends. The Heat, they hold the ball a lot, but the thing is, Detroit, they have actually a pretty good offense. Like, I think they're an actually decent team. I don't know why they just perform so poorly. They have great players. On the injury side, there's no big injuries except on Detroit. Tobias Harris is out. He's not going to be playing. But in terms of on the Heat side, no one really big. I mean, Pele Larson's actually a pretty good player, and Josh Richardson as well. But this team's, this guy, Jimmy Butler, wants to leave. So I don't know, man. Miami, however, has been covering winning games. They just won their last game against Toronto. I believe it depends on what line you got, but they won and covered that game. They've won 4 straight in a row and covered all those games. And they've beaten some pretty good teams, man. Just look, they beat Cleveland, they beat Phoenix, they beat LA, Toronto. They're on a roll. Detroit, I guess in their own right, I mean, done okay. They covered against Boston, beat the Knicks outright. We had Cade in his prop in that game. We also had Cade in his prop in this game as well. But, they're obviously not winning games, but they're covering very low spread, which is probably the most surprising thing is how low the spread is. Everyone is on Miami. And look, without Tobias Harris, obviously, going to be a different lineup today. I don't know, man. I don't really love laying points with the Heat. I honestly think the Heat are the better team. I think props are better in this game. But I do think, with Detroit's defense and rebounding ability is not too bad. I also think they have the offense to possibly, be okay. I mean, the Heat has a really, really good defense. I'll say that much. Detroit's been okay everywhere, man. I mean, it's not a really standout game to me. But if I was to bet, I don't know. I feel like I kind of want to take Detroit. I want to take Detroit at the spread. I think this game could be close, which is why I think this game will be good for props because the starters, at least, will probably stay in the game for a good amount of time. The one thing you have to worry about, though, is the three-point percentage. He a really good three-point shooting team. They have guys like Hero, Duncan Robinson. Detroit doesn't really cover the three that well. They're 28th in three-point percentage to their opposing teams. So be careful. But, I mean, I like props. I think Detroit can maybe keep this game kind of close. This game seems like a trap, though. I do understand why people are on the Heat. I mean, it's a low line for a Detroit team that it's not really been competitive, but they've been covering against big spreads, not low spreads like that. It's a very low spread. All right, next game, we got the Philadelphia 76ers against the Charlotte Hornets. And, man, Embiid, dude, he is the new Anthony Davis. I mean, it's kind of upsetting to see just how poorly he's been doing, bro. I mean, it kind of sucks, man. I love Embiid. I think Embiid's a really good player, but this team has been so, like, you don't know who's playing. You don't know anything about this team at all. Like, you don't know what they're going to come out with. Hornets might be getting back LaMelo Ball. They're still without Trey Mann and Grant Williams. Hornets are another talented team. They have young guys like Brandon Miller who are really good. But, man, I don't know. We'll see. I think the 76ers Without Embiid, I mean, they still got Maxey. They have Paul George. Who's the better team? I think for sure Philly is the better team, but it looks like LaMelo Ball might be coming back. And if he comes back, I mean, the Hornets can be competitive against any team. It's another game that's kind of weird. I really don't like the 76ers. I think they're another trash team. It's basically a pick'em game, which is very surprising. We take a look at the money line and where the bets are. Looks like people all over the 76ers. But dude, I mean, I think the Charlotte Hornets with LaMelo, see, obviously you have to be, it's all about context where if LaMelo's playing or not. I mean, they're not a great offense without him. And 76ers have shown to have a pretty good defense. I mean, I don't know, man. Give me the Hornets, bro. Again, another game that seems like another trap. Like, I mean, I totally get why people will be betting the 76ers. I think the Hornets with LaMelo Ball get a little bit of juice behind them. I mean, both teams been terrible this year, so it's not a game. But again, another game that I might want to bet props again because I think the game will be close. Indicative by the spread though, so I think, you know, with a 3.5 point spread, 3-point spread, Hornets can win this game outright, man. I don't think it's really that blowout factor where the Sixers would definitely win. And I do think the LaMelo Ball coming back is huge. But all right, next game. We get the Cleveland Cavaliers against the Brooklyn Nets. Two teams that have been absolute covering machines. Everyone's on the Cleveland Cavaliers. It makes sense. I do think, so if you guys are not aware, they did make a trade. They got rid of Schroeder on the Nets side. And I think that's going to be huge, bro, because I think he's been a big piece to their success. Whether you hate him or love him, Dennis Schroeder has been a really good player. Obviously, I don't have to say too much about the Cavaliers. They've been absolutely dominant this year, man. I mean, the best team in the East, maybe second best team behind the Celtics, but in terms of covering and winning, I mean, they have been on absolute fire, bro. They may be without Evan Mobley. I think he plays, though. 10-point spread. I mean, the Brooklyn Nets have been a covering machine as well, bro. I mean, so far this season been really, really, really good. But look, let's take a look. I mean, Cleveland won their last game against Washington, but did not cover. That was a big spread, like 16 points. They lost outright to Miami, beat up on the Hornets, beat up on Denver, beat up again on Washington, beat the break. I mean, not the breaks, but they beat Boston. I don't know, man. I do think the matchup. Look, you look at the stats everywhere. Cleveland's gonna be absolutely insane. Nets don't really have a great offense, especially missing Schroeder. I mean, they just still don't have Cam Thomas. They're gonna be basically playing with a lot of the young, like, role player guys. I mean, I think Cleveland probably wins. I think they can beat the brakes off them, but Brooklyn Nets, one of their best spots is actually betting them at home when they take big spreads. But with this new lineup, I'm a little concerned. I'm not as confident. If they had Schroeder playing and they still had an 11-point spread, maybe I'll take a shot at the dog and covering the spread, but I don't know, man. It's really tough for me to go do that. I think Cleveland wins and covers, but I'm not rushing to bet this one. But I do think the Cavaliers are really, really solid team this year, man. Be on the lookout for them. All right, let's see. The last three games, I'm going to try to go quickly. You got the Chicago Bulls on the road against the Toronto Raptors. Raptors only 1.5 point dogs, man. I mean, that's pretty surprising. They're going to be without still Scotty Barnes. I see Levine, Vucevic, and Lonzo Ball on the injury report for the Bulls. Go down here. Scotty Barnes is still out. Emmanuel Quickly is still out. So, look, Chicago plays no defense. They play at a really fast pace. Toronto has pretty good three-point shooters. I mean, they're going to be still with R.J. Barrett. Poto will be playing. So, I mean, they still have a pretty solid lineup. I mean, if we take a look at, where the money's at, it looks like people are betting heavily on the Bulls. I do think, I mean, I'm going to wait to see if these guys can play, but it seems like they will play. Obviously, if you guys want to take a look at, my Instagram, my Twitter, go take a look. I'll maybe put some updates on there to see if they're playing or not. But overall, man, I mean, Chicago, I mean, they've been a streaky team. They've not been covering games, but they did beat Charlotte outright. They messed them up pretty bad. We had a prop in this game that hit. And it was like Washington RA. That was a good one. But they lost against Philly. That was surprising. They got their butts whooped by Indiana. I had Siakam prop. He didn't hit. But, I mean, Indiana beat them on the road. Well, Indiana was on the road, which is their worst spot. And Toronto, man, they've been one of the best covering teams in the NBA so far. So I got to give them a lot of credit. They covered against the Knicks. I think they didn't cover here. They covered against Dallas. Got their butts whooped by OKC. So look, man, I mean, without Scotty, I mean, it's a little bit of a different game. Toronto's been one of the best teams covering at home, but it's a low spread. It's basically a pick 'em game, and I think it's tough. I mean, the books are not making it easy for you. I think if all the guys play for the Bulls, they have a decent shot. The one thing is the Raptors, their defense is not that great. They have pretty good three-point percentage defense, but the thing about the Raptors is that they do have, even though the numbers don't say it, you have to take it with a grain of salt. It's just because they haven't had a lot of their guys playing. Like there was a point where RJ and Scotty didn't play. So at home, I mean, I don't know. At a pick'em game, man, this is tough. I do think the Bulls are the better team. They have better players. They should win this game. So I guess I'll have to go with the Bulls. But yeah, because I only want to play with the Raptors if they're getting like more than a bucket, at least as a dog. I think this spread's a little tough. I mean, the Bulls just play no defense. High total, bro. So you do want to bet some over props. I do think this is a great game to do that. So give me the Bulls, though. I think they win this game. All right, next game. We got two teams that have been very disappointing, bro. We have the Denver Nuggets against the Sacramento Kings. Hey, man, look, Denver Nuggets looks like they'll be still without, they might be without Jamal, but I think he plays. I mean, Kings, they've been super disappointing this year. 13-13. Denver 13-10. I mean, I don't know, man. In this game, man, I think Denver gets the job done. I mean, I think they kind of been stepping it up in their last few games, been playing a lot better. Take a look. Beat the brakes off the Hawks. Beat the brakes off the Clippers. They actually lost against the Wizards outright. But, I mean, I think they've been putting together recently. Same thing with the Kings, but, I mean, the Kings been beat a trash team. They beat the Utah, San Antonio. I think Denver comes back, even though they're not good on the road. This is basically a pick 'em game. We'll see if they all play, but I like Denver in this game. And then the last game on the board that we're going to talk about is the Utah Jazz against the Clippers, man. I don't know, man. Utah Jazz has been super disappointing. I like the Clippers in this game. I think Clippers can cover this game, especially with the injuries that, I mean, even with the injuries that the Clippers have been having, man, still no Kawhi. Terrence Mann